and you made a comment, I believe, on Fox, in which you said President Trump will not allow the coronavirus to come to this country. Given what has happened since then, obviously, would you like to take that back?
Well, first, let me note, I was asked a question on Fox Business about the president's travel restrictions. I noted what was the intent behind those travel restrictions, which is we will not see the coronavirus come here. We will not see terrorism come here, referring to an earlier set of travel restrictions. I guess I would turn the question back on the media and ask similar questions. Does Vox want to take back that they proclaim that the coronavirus would not be a deadly pandemic? Does the Washington Post want to take back that they told Americans to get a grip, the flu is bigger than the coronavirus? Does the Washington Post likewise want to take back that our brains are causing us to exaggerate the threat of the coronavirus? Does the New York Times want to take back that fear of the virus may be spreading faster than the virus itself? Does NPR want to take back that the flu was a much bigger threat than the coronavirus? And finally, once again, the Washington Post, would they like to take back that the government should not respond aggressively to the coronavirus? I'll leave you with those questions, and maybe you'll have some answers in a few days. Yep.
Kaylee,
Thank you very much.
You were prepared for that. Kaylee, the president said yesterday he does not want Dr. Fauci testifying before the House because it's filled with Trump haters. How is that consistent with oversight and transparency?
Well, first of all, what the president noted was specific to the House. It's important to note that Dr. Fauci will be testifying before the Senate, which means he will be fielding questions from both Democrats and Republicans. The House, however, and specifically Chairwoman Nita Lowey's committee, did not act in good faith. Mark Meadows had 3 calls with Chairwoman Nita Lowey 3 nights ago when she called to ask if Dr. Fauci could testify before a subcommittee hearing. And Chief of Staff Mark Meadows has made clear he wants to make the best use he can of the task force members' time. Of course, they're working hard to save American lives, so that's very important. So to that end, he said in the 3 phone calls, what is the purpose of this hearing? Can you give me the subject matter? And Lowey was unable to tell the chief of staff what the subject matter was. The last phone call they had was at 10:46 p.m. on that evening, and Lowey agreed to follow up in the morning with details. Those details were never received. Instead, we got a press release. So that's what we call a publicity stunt. We encourage the House to act in good faith, much like the Senate did. And as I noted, Dr. Fauci will be speaking in a week and a half before the Senate, so the notion that he's being blocked is just farcical.
Let me ask you, can you just go back to Jeff's question about Dr. Fauci and then the president's statement that there are too many Trump haters in the House? I mean, does the White House really believe that you can decide to have officials testify in the Republican-controlled Senate but not testify in the Democratic-controlled House? Doesn't the House have legitimate oversight and a legitimate really responsibility, not just authority, but a responsibility to have somebody like Anthony Fauci testify?
Will Dr. Fauci be questioned by Democrats in that Senate hearing?
Yes, he will be. So why? But are you saying that so the Senate's fine, the House has no role in oversight?
The House needs to act in good faith. We don't have time in the middle of a pandemic for publicity stunts. It's not the time for that. It's not the place for that. In the course of 3 phone calls, you should be able to give the subject matter to ensure it's the best use of Dr. Fauci's time. As you yourself noted, in the Republican-controlled Senate, Dr. Fauci will indeed be asked questions by Democrats.
Is the subject matter a mystery? I mean,
Jeff?
Kaylee, in a previous life,